Today's video is about goal setting and moving into the new year 2023. It's hard to believe it's already here. For those of you who have been watching my videos from the beginning, I just wanted to say thank you. Again, if you haven't already done so, please hit that like and subscribe button. Going into the new year, I just wanted to create a video about goal setting and really getting clear on what it is that we want going into the new year. To be honest, the reason I wanted to make a video on goal setting is because it's something that I've struggled with in the past. If you're one of those people who has big goals, has big aspirations, and for whatever reason you fall off the wagon, don't worry, I've been there. I've been in your shoes where I've had big goals and big aspirations for myself, but for whatever reason I couldn't stick with what I was doing. And it's really frustrating sometimes because even as a very driven, motivated, organized person, sometimes I just don't follow through with my goals. If you can relate, you know that that's extremely frustrating too. And this video is all about my best tips for how to negate that, how to minimize that, and really how to stick with your goals and how to continue on your path and really maintain that focus, maintain that momentum moving forward so that you can achieve and live the life of your dreams. So the first part of this is with regard to maintaining focus and staying on task to what it is that you want to achieve. In the past, I've struggled with this tremendously where I put in a lot of hard work. I was really passionate about what I was doing in the beginning, but then I fell off and lost interest and eventually decided to either leave or quit. You reach a point where you no longer want to do something. You have to reassess and ask yourself why it is that you want to quit, or why is it that you just don't feel like doing what it is that you set out to do from the very beginning. In order to achieve the results that you're looking for, you have to establish a solid plan. Now, as someone who necessarily doesn't like to make plans, I'm very spontaneous, go with the flow. Formulating a plan was like a turnoff to me in the beginning, but now that I'm 26 years old, I realize that having a plan is how you achieve your results. He who fails to plan plans to fail. If you formulated a plan in the past and you've still failed, you have to ask yourself why it is you're doing what you're doing. You might need to do a little digging here into your dreams, into your goals, into your business, whatever it is. Ask yourself why it is you're doing what you're doing and really get to the core and the foundation of your plan. Because once you have your plan, it's just a matter of putting those actionable steps into place. But in order to keep you on top of that plan, you really have to ask yourself why it is you're doing what you're doing. So let's say your goal is to make $100K a year. Now, the first thing you need to do is break down that goal and work backwards. Start with the end in mind. How much do you need to make per month? $8,333.33. Now, how much do you need to make per week, per hour? Depending on how many hours per week you want to work, if you want to work 40-hour weeks where you're working about 8 hours a day, then you're probably going to need to make a little bit less per hour, but you're going to be spending more time on that work versus someone who wants to work 20 hours per week or someone who wants to work 10 hours per week. Now, the less time that you put in, you're going to have to make more per hour. Whatever it is that you're providing, if it's a service or a product, now you're going to need to make more per unit or per hour in order to reach your goal in less time. So if your goal is a monetary one in terms of what you want to make, break it down, do the math, and work backwards. Once you see your goal broken down, it'll be a lot more palpable, a lot easier on your mind to be like, oh wow, this is actually really achievable. Now there's realistic goals and there's unrealistic goals. For me, with where I'm at right now, an unrealistic goal would be I'm going to make $1 million this year in 2023. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to make $83,333.33 each month while I'm a full-time student. Now, if I had maybe more free time and I really worked hard and figured out a actionable plan, it's possible, but again, it's a really tough goal to set this year for myself at this current moment, but it doesn't mean that it's not possible and it's not achievable at some point in my life. Personally, I like to set goals that are outside of what I think is possible, because if I set a goal that's outside of what I think is possible, then the chances are I'm going to land somewhere in the middle. When I set out to run my first marathon, I just said I'm going to run a marathon. When it came close to the event, I had only run about 21 miles. Once I got to the actual race itself, I was able to finish, but I definitely was hurting in the end. Had I have set my goal of running maybe 30 miles before the marathon, then my body would have been more prepared to have run 26.2 miles. So my best advice would be to set a goal higher than what you actually want to achieve, because chances are you'll end up a little bit short of your goal, which is fine because then you'll be right where you wanted to be in the end. Once you've determined the smaller goals that you need to achieve in order to reach your bigger goal, now you can break it down into actionable steps. So let's say your goal is to achieve a 6-pack of abs. You know that in order to achieve this, you're probably going to have to work out every week. But now, to get more specific, how often are you going to need to work out per week, and for how long, and what exercises are you going to be doing? So once you've written down your actionable steps in terms of what you need to do to achieve your smaller goals, now it's a matter of writing them down and reading them every single day. I'd recommend first thing when you wake up in the morning, reading your goals out loud to yourself, and also right before you go to bed, read your goals out loud to yourself one more time. By reading your goals out loud to yourself every single day, you're affirming it into your beliefs. Every day you're programming your brain to realize that, hey, this is my goal today. Whatever the actionable steps that it is that I'm going to be doing today, it's going to be towards this bigger goal that I have. If you're still falling off or lacking motivation during this process, chances are maybe you need to be a little bit better organized with what it is that you're doing. And I recommend this software called Notion, which is really, really helpful in terms of staying organized with your documents. In terms of efficiency, this app just allows you to lay out everything very neatly, and it allows you to stay organized and on top of what you're doing. No matter what goal that you're seeking to achieve, chances are at some point in time, you're going to have roadblocks, or you're going to have speed bumps that slow you down. There's going to be things that kind of buck you off the horse, but you're just going to need to have that organization in place in order to maintain that momentum. For instance, a goal for myself is to continue to make videos, but a huge distraction is social media. So what did I do for myself? I set time limits. I can only go on social media 30 minutes a day. So now once I hit that 30-minute limit, I can't go on social media anymore, and now I'm left to create. If this all seems exhausting or even a little overwhelming, and you're someone who says, oh, I don't need to write down my goals, I don't need to do any of that because I'm on top of my stuff every single day, trust me, I've been there. I'm not a big planner. I'm not someone who typically likes to write all these things down. There's going to be things along the way that just get in your way and distract you, and you're not really going to have control over that. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you have these distractions that come into your life. And they're going to happen at some point in time. We all get distracted from time to time. And what will bring us back to our goals is the things that we're writing down on a daily basis and really getting clear on why it is we're doing what we're doing. As always, please drop a comment below if you found anything helpful in this video, or something resonated with you, or maybe you just had something new come up, and I'll see you next time.